Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Amy here. Today we're going to do part of my June wrap up. The other part will be done with Debbie. We just haven't been able to get together and film that, but that is coming up soon. We have scheduled a day. We're going to be filming it. It's going to be super fun, so stay tuned for that. So today I'm just going to be talking about all the other books that I read without Debbie, and that was like 7 books. Read slash listened. Can't talk. And then I have 2 podcasts that I kind of ran into randomly that I really enjoyed. So I just want to throw those out there for y'all as well, because I love listening to a good podcast. My favorite is true crime, but if there's any out there that y'all recommend, let me know, that I haven't listened to. I think I've asked before, but you know, I've listened to Serial, which is like my all-time favorite. I listened to my favorite Murder. I listened to Obsessed with True Crime Obsessed, True Crime Junkie. There's like so many of them out there. I've also listened to one, I don't know if y'all have heard of this one, but it's called S-Town. It was recommended when I was listening to Serial that you would like this one as well. If you like this one, you would like this one. So I went ahead and I clicked on it, and it was really good. But it's been a long time, you know, since I've listened to those podcasts. Yeah, so some of my podcasts are Your Own Backyard, Creepy Caffeine, The Murder Squad, Ghost Magnet with Bridget. She used to be a Girl Next Door. If you remember that show with Hugh Hefner and his bunnies, it was like Bridget and Holly and Kendra. I was obsessed with that show, with that little TV series that came out, and my favorite was Bridget. And she has, like, because she loves ghosts and she loves Halloween, and you know, she loves all those things, and she's beautiful, and I just love her because I feel like we're like the same person. I mean, she's way more prettier than I am, but I'm just saying she's I feel like, you know, we could be friends. But anyway, she has a podcast called Ghost Magnet, and then Crime Junkie, my favorite Murder, which is a very popular one, True Crime Obsessed, which is also a popular one, and yeah, that looks like that's about it, except for the other 2 that I'll be talking. Well, since we're talking about podcasts, so I just recently ran into, because I love Up and Vanished. Up and Vanished is another one. I love Up and Vanished. I love Payne Lindsay. I think he's a fantastic podcaster. And he has other podcasts that he has put out there. And I didn't realize this till recently. And I think I was listening to Crime Junkie, and that's where I heard like the advertisements for these 2 podcasts. So one of them is Radio Rental. Fantastic. It's about it's these short sort of stories. You get about 3 of them within each podcast, but it's like these short, like kind of true horror stories that really happen to real people that people have wrote in to talk about. And I just like the whole setup of the podcast. It's like a 80s rental video store kind of thing. It's you know, it's all show, but the stories that he tells is not a show. They are true stories, real horrors that have happened to people. And you know, people have, you know, gotten away, you know, no one's died, but it's just these horror stories that are like, oh my god, like what would you do in that situation kind of thing. I fell in love with it. I like binged it in a couple of days, and now I'm sad about it because I don't have any more to watch. I guess there's going to be some more coming up, I think later this year, like in October. But anyway, that's a really good one to binge, as well as what was the other one? Full Body Chills. If you are a Crime Junkie fan, you'll know that they say full body chills all the time. Like, that gives me full body chills. So they created a podcast to go along with that, and I think Payne Lindsay sort of produces it. I I'm not positive. But anyway, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't. I don't remember. But anyway, it's a really good one. It's actually fiction, so it's not real stories, but it's like these short stories that people have written, like these horror kind of stories that people have written. And the one that, I forget her name, whoever does Crime Junkie, she and a couple other people narrate it. So good, so good. So I highly recommend those two. Those are my new current finds, radio rental and full body chills. So go check those out if you're a podcast lover like me. If you have any recommendations for me, let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's get into the books. So I have 3 physical books here that I actually have with me, and then the rest are either I read them on my Fire tablet, or I just don't have the physical copy and I listen to them some kind of way. But anyway, I'll be putting them up here as per usual. But first we're going to talk about Escaping the Merman. I was really intrigued and surprised at how much I loved this story. This is by Aramis Jordan. It's sort of a fantasy male-male romance. It's about mermen and human men. I know I know what you're thinking. You're like, but I promise you, it was really fascinating to read. It was very well written, in my opinion, and it just flowed really nicely, and I really loved all the characters. I fell so hard for Arion, which is our merman. He and his friends have like a little colony on this little island. It's dated back in the 1800s. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've read it, but it's dated back where, you know, pirates were amongst the sea. And we're also following Fernando, which is our human man character, or human male character, human man. Human male character. He is the, I guess, captain of the ship. The story of his company is kind of in the background. I don't remember the details, but he and his crew are setting sail to transport lots of stuff to where it needs to go, basically. So Arion and his merman friends sing their song to seduce and bring in the men of this ship when the ship comes along. And usually mermen are portrayed as like evil characters, and I guess in a sense, I guess this could be an evil way, but they want to give pleasure to other men. Like they cannot actually have pleasure themselves, so they want to give pleasure to other men, and they enjoy playing with other men, kind of thing. So they lure these men into their coven, and they play with them. It was fascinating. It was super hot, honestly, and I really got invested within the story of Arion and Fernando, and I really enjoyed just how things panned out and how the story flowed into how things went. And I'm anxious to see like the rest of their story, or at least hear more about them in upcoming books. I know we'll be getting more from Aramis Jordan in this series. This is a series. This was the first book. We'll be getting more of the characters that were mentioned in this first book in our next books, because I really did, even though you don't get a lot of those characters, our author really did do well with putting them in the story and making you want to hear more from them and what happened to them with their particular merman that they were with at that time when they were lured in. It's a very fascinating read. I had a fantastic time with it. I highly recommend it. Next up, I read Dirty Laundry. No. This is the first book in the Tucker Springs series. I will not be continuing the series. This story in particular is about Adam and Denver. Adam is a college graduate, maybe, or he's in grad school. He's very nerd-like. He has OCD. I'm looking back on my notes because I don't really remember a lot about this book. He has OCD. He has very bad anxiety kind of things. He goes into like these anxiety attacks. And then we have Denver, who is a bodyguard at like this gay club, or yeah, he's a bodyguard at a gay club. And so he doesn't feel like he's smart enough to like be with Adam, but then, you know, he doesn't want to be away from Adam. They kind of like have like this sexual relationship, and it's just no, it's cringeworthy. Like, these sex scenes were just like, I continued with this book only because I did like Adam and Denver as individuals. I didn't necessarily like them together. I kind of like them together, but not really. It just wasn't done well. I didn't really like the story. And like I said, the sex scenes were very cringeworthy, weren't really sexy at all. Yeah. No. Adam also has like this terrible ex-boyfriend that just threw me off the entire time. I was like, if I couldn't like this book any more than I already do, this character just made me just not to even want to finish it. So there's that. Next up, I read Absolution by Sloane Kennedy. This is part of the Protector series. There's like a bunch of series that are connected with this series. It's really confusing about where you want to start with this series, or I think you can read any of them as a standalone. I don't think you really need to read the whole series, but I was going to try, but because there's a lot of books, there's a lot of series that go into a series, and it's really confusing. And one book says you need to go to this series to, you know, start here to understand where we're going over here, and I'm like, what? Anyway, I was just like, you know what, if I want to read any more, I'm just going to kind of pick and choose throughout the different books, because I do really love Sloane Kennedy's writing and her stories. But this one just, I mean, I gave it a 3-star. I liked it, but there was something about the story that just didn't vibe with me. It's a male, so we have 3 characters that we're following. We're following all 3. What are their names? Like, I don't even remember. Okay, we have Jonas. He's an artist with like a troubling past. He went through a very rough patch when he was 14 years old. And then we follow Mace. Mace also had sort of a bad past. He was recently married to a woman, and he suffered a major loss in his past, and it just kind of messed up his life and led him down this dark road. You know, that's kind of where he's at when he meets Jonas. And then we have Cole, who is ex-Navy. He himself hasn't really suffered a bad past, but he has suffered major loss, and he's dealing with an alcoholic father as well. So he himself has not had a bad past, but he's suffering through other people. And it's just a lot of darkness. It was more dark, deep, and intense than I thought it was going to be. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I just don't think I was in the mood for it. I just wanted something fun, and I was thinking, ooh, 3 men, yes. I don't know. But that's really not what you get. I mean, the sex scenes are hot and fantastic, but the story itself just didn't really grab me. Like I said, it was really dark, and I don't think I was in the mood for that, or I was ready for that. But also, I did like these characters, but for some reason, it's like I don't know if I like them together. It's really hard to describe, but yeah, I liked it, but there was just something that just wasn't giving me the right feels. Next, I listened to this one. This is The House in the Cerulean Sea. Don't come for me, because I know this book is well loved, and a couple of you have recommended it to me, and I appreciate all the recommendations. It was fun and I enjoyed my time reading it, but I just didn't see where the hype was, I guess. It was different than anything I've ever read. It's definitely on the fantasy kind of side. I've never read anything by T.J. Klune, but I do want to read more of T.J. Klune. I just didn't feel it lived up to the hype that I was expecting it to be. It didn't live up to my hype. If you loved it, that's fantastic. I did like this. I enjoyed it. I had fun with the characters. I loved the kids at this home. I did end up putting a half a star on it just because I just super enjoyed just reading about the kids and such. But it took me a little while to really get into this book, to really start to enjoy it. We follow Linus. He's a caseworker for what's it called? The Department in Charge of Magical Youth. And so he goes around to these homes that give these different children with these magical powers a home for them to grow up in. So we get to know his character first and where he works and all about his job and the company that he works for. And I just kind of got a little bored with that. But once we get to the house in the Cerulean Sea, I really started to enjoy the book a little bit more. So we started meeting the kids. We meet Arthur, which will be him and Linus have a little bit of a love interest going on there. And the children that are in this home are very, very different than the other magical children that he's gone to visit. One of them is the child of Lucifer. I think, what is his name? Lucy. They call him Lucy. He's hilarious. He's this 5 or 6 year old, and he's I don't know, he just proclaims you will die at my hand, or something extreme like that. He's super funny. And then we have this sort of blob character. I don't remember what his name is, poor little heart, but he was super cute. He wanted to be a bellman, a bellhop at a hotel. And oh, he was so cute. I really adored all the kids, and I had so much fun with them. But like I said, it just wasn't everything that I thought it was gonna be. But I did enjoy the story. I haven't even hauled this for y'all yet. This was a Book of the Month pick. It actually wasn't a pick. It was an add-on for Book of the Month. This is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I was really looking forward to this book because I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue. But for some reason, this one just didn't do it for me. I gave it 3 stars. I did like it. It was okay. I don't know. Something about it just didn't... Red, White, and Royal Blue was just so much better in my opinion. But I did listen to this on audio. The audio is really good. So we're following August. August is from New Orleans. Casey McQuiston is from New Orleans as well. So that's a little fun tidbit for me. But anyway, August moves to New York just to kind of start over. Not really start over, but just try to find what she's looking for, I guess. She's going to school. She gets a job at this pancake house, I believe. She has a group of people as roommates. They were really fun. I really enjoyed our characters as far as that goes. One day riding the subway or coming home or going home on the subway from work, she meets Jane. And this is kind of where it took a little turn for me. I thought it was going to be super fun. Jane is kind of stuck in the 1970s, but we come to find out that she is from the 1970s and she's stuck on the subway, on the train. And I thought that was going to be really fun, but it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't fit right, I feel. I don't know. The writing was good. Like I said, I really did enjoy the characters. But that kind of aspect of the story, I think, threw me off a little bit. And, the only way they could see each other was on the subway train. And I don't know. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But it was cute. Like I said, I really enjoyed all the characters. The story ended up to be really cute and fascinating in the end as we find out more about Jane and like what happened and why she got stuck in kind of like this time warp kind of thing, I don't know, but that towards the end it got really interesting for me, but everything in the middle was just a little bit meh. It was okay. I read two more, well, I listened to these last two books. Without You by Marley Valentine. This was actually recommended by one of y'all, so thank y'all so much for recommending this book to me. I absolutely loved it. The audio is fantastic. It's narrated by one of my absolute favorite narrators in the male genre, Teddy Hamilton. And then we had a second narrator, Tim Page, which was fantastic as well. Really super good audio, super book. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful story of two men that come together over grief. One of them, we follow both men. Deacon is actually, his brother passed away, so Deacon is grieving his brother, and Julian, who was partners with Deacon's brother, is grieving his lost love. Deacon and Julian never really they never really liked each other. There wasn't really a reason. Deacon just kind of felt like his family liked him more than they liked him, kind of thing. Like his family just accepted Julian into the mix so easily, and Julian just kind of fit in right along with them. So Deacon always kind of had like a kind of like a jealousy streak towards Julian. But then there's also something like deep down inside him that he couldn't really put a finger on about Julian, that he didn't know what it was, whether it was jealousy, that he didn't like him, was he jealous because Julian was in love with his brother. You know, he didn't really know what it was until he got to know Julian a little bit more after the passing of his brother. It was a very, very slow burn romance as these two guys come together and get to know each other. There's also a little rough patch with Deacon's mom. Like, she has Deacon's brother up here on a pedestal, which I understand. You know, Deacon's brother went through a lot before he passed away. But, you know, she has other children. You know, she needs to show them that she loves him as well. So there's a little bit of a story there. Yeah, it was just a beautiful romance about loss and grief, and how this grief brought these two men together. And also, Deacon has never been with a man, so one of my favorite tropes in a male-male romance is first-timers. So I really, really, really enjoyed it. Once these two men got together, it was just heaven. I loved it. Highly recommend it. Lastly, I read Featherbed. This is by Annabeth Albert. This is part of the Verettas and Vinos. Is that what it's called? Vino and Verettas. Had that kind of mixed up. This is the first book in that series. This series is written by different authors, so each book is a different author's. I gave this like a 3.5 star because I really did like it, but I've read so much better from Annabeth Albert. But it was still fun. It was still fun read. I did like it, but like I said, I think it's something about the characters that just didn't didn't connect with the two characters. But anyway, we follow Harrison. He's a 42-year-old ex-attorney. He's moving to this area. Where are we at? Vermont. Moving to Vermont with his mom, and they open up this sort of wine bookstore. Like, I would love that if we had that here. I know that there's like a Brews and Books or something like that somewhere. I think I follow them on Instagram, but I would love to have a brew or a glass of wine somewhere while like purchasing books or perusing books. Oh my God. I mean, coffee is fantastic, having like Starbucks and Barnes and Nobles, but wine and beer, yes, we need to get that here in Louisiana. I wish I could open one up, but you know, I couldn't do that. But anyway, it would be fantastic. But anyway, and then we follow Finn, who has lived in Vermont. He works on his family farm. He specializes in chickens. So it was really cute and fun. We get like they meet because a shipment of his chicks are shipped to Harrison's store, the bookstore, instead of the farm. So that's kind of how the two guys meet. Very different characters. You know, Harrison is kind of like an uptight, like I said, ex-lawyer, and he's older. He's 42 years old. And then we have Finn, who is just more, you know, country boy, carefree kind of thing, but he's never really, he's been in one relationship and he's vowed like never really to get into another one because it didn't really go very well, and he's very dedicated to the farm and what he does on the farm. So their little thing starts off as a fling, but you know, they start to really like each other, really enjoy each other's company, but they're sort of like being hard-headed and they don't really communicate well with each other, and like it just wasn't like melding together, and I was getting frustrated, but it was fun. I had a good time reading it or listening to it. I did listen to this book. I did enjoy the narration. The narrators are Alexander Kendis and Kurt Graves. Very good narrators. So if you can get this book on audio, I do recommend the audio. But yeah, I liked it. It was okay. Just something was missing. But yeah, I've read so much better from Annabeth Albert. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to more characters in this series. So that's it, y'all. That is all the books I read in the month. Well, not all the books, but the books I read on my own in the month of June for Pride Month. I had a super fun time celebrating Pride Month with me and Debbie. I hope y'all had a happy Pride. Let's celebrate Pride every month. I mean, I celebrate every month. I'm super excited to be celebrating two lovely women this weekend that will be getting married in New Orleans. My cousin Taylor and her beautiful soon-to-be wife Kelly. I cannot wait to see them two marry this weekend. So yeah, we'll be celebrating them this weekend. By the time you see this, the wedding will be done. But congratulations to them. I don't know if they watch my videos, but congratulations. Love y'all. Can't wait to see the beautiful wedding that will be happening and the celebration that will be happening this weekend. But yeah, y'all won't see that. This will go up hopefully Tuesday, filming this on a Friday, so this will go up Tuesday. But anyway, thank y'all again so much for watching. Hope y'all once again had a very happy Pride Month. Let's continue to celebrate Pride and everything else. Just celebrate you, celebrate who you are, whatever that may be. Hope y'all all doing well out there, still staying safe. Hugs from me all around, and I will see y'all very soon in a new video. Bye y'all.